Welcome to Deleted Saves. On this episode, Batman: Arkham Asylum on Xbox 360. Superhero games have had a difficult time in the video game sphere. They have landed with mixed results, some good, some not so great. But our subject for today was an undeniable smash hit, showing that licensed comic book characters as video game properties can work, and work very well, to the point where titles unrelated to the property take inspiration from it. Today we will be discussing 2009's Batman: Arkham Asylum. Batman as a character I'm sure most people are at least passingly familiar with. Created by artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, the character first appeared in 1939 in Detective Comics. From there, the character has been maintained as a pop culture figure for a whopping 7 decades now, appearing in multiple comic books and spin-off comic books, animated series, TV series, movies, and more merchandising than one could shake an entire forest worth of sticks at. As a character, Batman, real name Bruce Wayne, possesses no superpowers. He is just a planner on an almost paranoid level, blessed with infinite wealth, and trained to mastery levels in several martial arts styles. He holds the title of World's Greatest Detective for his ability to outthink and outwit even the most twisted and diabolical of thinkers. He safeguards his home city of Gotham, has friends and allies, grudgingly, and a selection of supervillains that he refuses to kill, each villain believed to be based around an opposite aspect of the Batman persona, such as the Joker's insane clownishness compared with the Batman's seriousness, or Two-Face being the dark side of Batman's duality as both wealthy playboy by day and costume vigilante by night. This character has been both adored by generations of fans and lampooned by generations of those looking to do a comic book piss take of superheroes in general, or this character in particular. The character has also had video games prior to this one, going back to as early as 1986, but again, they were uneven quality, and stuck to either simple plots for kids or were movie tie-ins. But something changed during the development of Arkham Asylum. To begin with, the development team of Rocksteady Studios, a Warner Brothers-owned studio not to be confused with Rockstar Games, were not looking to make a movie tie-in, but instead focused on inspiration by renowned comic book writers and artists like Frank Miller and Grant Morrison, known for penning some of the greatest, or at least most culturally relevant, Batman comic titles of the modern history. There, they began to put together a framework of a plot where Batman is stuck inside Arkham Asylum, an Alcatraz-like facility in Gotham City's harbor, where the most dangerous and mentally unstable supervillains are housed, for one night where he is forced to face several of his worst enemies. The plot revolves around Batman's interaction with arch-villain the Joker, who has purposely got himself returned to Arkham so that he can unleash his most fiendish plot yet, infecting the thugs and gang leaders of Gotham City with a version of the Berserker formula used by the villain Bane, which can turn anyone into a giant wall of muscle and rage. Should Batman try to leave the island before the Joker reveals the extent of his plot, he threatens to blow up Gotham in a series of hidden bombs throughout the town. Once caught inside during the lockdown that happens in the ensuing chaos, as tons of non-supervillain prisoners are being housed at Arkham due to a separate problem at the city's actual prison, Batman must systematically make his way through the island's many prison wings and themed monstrous funhouse environments while rescuing allies and stopping things from spreading to the city at large. Rocksteady also chose to cement the success of this game further by enlisting the acting skills of 2 key Batman voices, specifically 2 actors that starred in the acclaimed 1990s cartoon show Batman the Animated Series. Kevin Conroy, the best Batman in my opinion, who played Batman/Bruce Wayne for the entire run of the animated show, as well as many other animated shows and video games where Batman was a featured character, and Mark Hamill, perhaps most famous for his role as Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars blockbuster franchise, but who has also voiced iconic villain the Joker throughout the entire run of Batman the Animated Series and many spin-off projects, arguably his second most famous role. With a few other famous character actor voices, the whole production was set to be unleashed on the gaming public. What set this Batman game apart from others was that it was done in a third-person over-the-shoulder perspective and focused on Batman's stealth abilities within a 3D environment, particularly sneaking along behind enemies, and the use of his gadgets to either disappear in clouds of smoke or stay high above them in the rafters, hidden from sight. In-game, Batman uses this to unnerve and terrify his foes. As with each one he disables throughout stealth takedowns, out of sight of the others, those who remain become more terrified and erratic in behavior. But should he be caught in a melee, he can utilize his superior fighting skills to disable multiple attackers with ease through basic attacks, stuns, and countermaneuvers, a formula of free-flowing combat which will be copied by several other franchises for years to come. Perhaps the most famous and copied of Arkham Asylum's mechanics was the Detective Mode, wherein Batman can use an X-ray-like device in his visor to sense temperature, airborne pathogens, chemical compositions, and most damningly, X-ray vision, which turns all other characters, especially enemies, into blue skeletons, more at home in a Saturday Night Live knockoff comedy sketch than in a serious stealth combat game. I know I was guilty of spending half the game in this mode, practically humming spooky, scary skeletons, long before that meme was a thing in pop culture. And there are several games that ported this concept to their games as well, dooming franchises to long sections of skeleton vision. As Batman descends through the island upon which Arkham sits, creeping through vents and elevator shafts or across rooftops of Victorian-era buildings and stranger places, he encounters a number of troubled foes, from Killer Croc in his sewer lair to Poison Ivy in her greenhouse prison, as well as the retrofitted prison and isolation wings, inner offices, surgical areas, and open grounds where he will hunt for clues left behind by the Joker himself, as well as puzzle clues left behind by the Riddler, yet another of Batman's great foes. There are even Easter eggs aplenty to other Batman villains scattered throughout the architecture and backgrounds, if you know where to look, referencing monsters and madmen, both well-known and obscure. Within the island's morgue, Batman will meet the Scarecrow, who uses fear-inducing gas on Batman to have him hallucinate bizarre hybrid platform/survival horror sections. Well, as much as a superhero can be subject to the rules of hide-and-seek scares, that is. But it is still an amazing addition to a profound stealth title with exploration, puzzle-solving, and beat-em-up features abounding within. Despite these disparate types of gameplay being mixed together in one game, that is the strength of Batman Arkham Asylum. The ability for the player to freely switch between styles of play throughout the game. You get to pick the type of predator you are: stealthy, brawler, or gimmick and trap-based. On top of that, the game is very well acted by the principal cast, many of whom are Batman veterans in one form or another, and the writing is crisp and sharp, telling a snappy tale of intrigue and daring-do of the kind that can only exist within the pulp pages of comic books, while we, the player, are given a grand tour of Batman's back catalog of lore, allies, and foes. Plus, the game does not wear out its welcome, wrapping up within the sacred and now long-gone period of between 8 to 10 hours, a staple of the Xbox 360 days. But not all is well, of course. While Arkham Asylum has many strengths, its greatest weakness may be its ending. So spoilers ahead. After many hours of puzzle solving and putting dangerous and dastardly deranged alliterative deviants back behind bars, Batman must confront the Joker over his master plot, unleashing his chemical formula codenamed Titan upon the prisoners being held at Arkham to form an army of monstrous beings set to demolish Gotham City, a formula derived from Batman's arch-nemesis and back-breaking foe Bane's own Venom chemical superpower. After all that has transpired over the course of one night, the ending devolves into a simple punch-up between Batman and the Joker. The Joker, physically weaker than Batman and knowing he cannot win a straight-up fight, injects himself with the Titan formula and turns himself into a clown makeup-wearing behemoth, now sporting jutting claws and horns, and his short ribs bursting from his sides as they are just now too big to be contained within his own body due to all the muscle growth. The battle takes place on the roof of the asylum, where a television helicopter crew films this fight and broadcasts it to all of Gotham, while the monster Joker makes bad puns and mugs for the camera. And in true Batman fashion, the Dark Knight must use his batarangs and other gear to make the Joker monster dizzy enough to be punched 3 times around, like a boss monster in a Super Mario Bros. Game, until a cinematic shows Batman using his explosive tech to deliver a knockout blow to the Joker, and somehow not shatter his own fist in the process. Once knocked out, Joker and all the convicts subjected to Titan collapse and are free to have the process miraculously reversed. Many have said that the ending of Arkham Asylum was quite the letdown, and I must agree. But the ending does not speak for the quality of the game overall. I am not alone in this thinking. Arkham Asylum was nominated or won dozens of awards that year for the quality of writing, graphics, gameplay, and voice acting of everyone involved. It was almost unanimously given 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 awards by the major game journalist outlets, take that how you may, and garnered over 2 million sales in its first 3 weeks of release. Holy shit, talk about a smash hit for any game, let alone a licensed superhero title. The game reinvigorated what could be done with superhero games. Maybe not well or perfectly, but set a very high bar for quality superhero-based video game titles for many years. It was the best superhero game around. I personally would place it second only to Insomniac Studios' Spider-Man titles. For my part, when I played this title, I can say without any irony, I truly felt like I was in Batman's shoes, not just someone controlling a digital cartoon character. The sneaking was the best part of the game, which led to the feeling of genuinely being a vigilante criminal hunter. The puzzles could sometimes be frustrating, mostly because you did not look in the correct thing to scan in the environment in just the way the developers wanted. You can want to give up, but this usually only lets you miss out on a minor amount of experience which is used to unlock new equipment for Batman to utilize. Batman Arkham Asylum is a stellar title. Not just a franchise superhero title, but as a game as well, a worthy addition to the library of any player. Every part of this game sang a special, unique song, except for the ending, of course, which more accurately burped its way through the classic Looney Tunes ending, "That's all, folks," rather than singing. Ironic, considering both properties are held by Warner Brothers. Batman Arkham Asylum is truly a game unlike its fellows. A lightning-in-a-bottle type of game. One where you can genuinely feel that, just for a little while, you, too, are vengeance, that you, too, are the night. Thank you for listening.